Myst for the Sega Saturn. Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that this game definitely was not for me. I didn't get through it, but I'm going to give a little quick, honest review about what I thought of the game. Now, Myst is a very odd game, at least in my opinion, from what I got out of it. Now, it's a port of a PC game that was apparently a very popular PC game when it was first released. I believe originally in like 1993 or something. And in Myst, it's a point and click adventure that I want to say I really couldn't tell you what was going on. It was just really odd and confusing at the same time in regards to that matter. Now, you start off on this island, and it being a point and click adventure, it also kind of lets you or leaves you to kind of figure everything out by yourself. There's no real like in-depth story to Myst, but it's a lot of puzzle solving. It's a lot of things that really it doesn't lead you in the right direction, or at least to my understanding, like it doesn't hold your hand. Now, pretty much there's hints and little things along the way to tell you what you're supposed to do, little clues that you're supposed to find out and, keep track of. In Myst, you kind of have to write down these clues as you come across them, just because you don't have an item system, there's no inventory. So if you read a note that's like on the ground, either you have to memorize what that note says, take a picture of it in today's day and age, or just kind of, not pay attention to it and try to figure everything out as you go, and it would just make the game a lot harder. Now, to what I kind of figured out was there's different worlds and different ages that you go to in Myst. Each one is in like a different time period or something along those lines, and you collect pages to throw into this book. And there's a planetarium, you kind of can look at stars. I'm being honest here, I really couldn't tell you what Myst was all about, only because I couldn't figure it out. I can definitely tell you guys that I can see the type of people, not the type of people, but I could see there being a market for people who like point and click puzzle adventure games, especially old school PC games. And, this apparently was the number one selling CD-ROM game of all time at the time of Myst's initial release. Now, like I said, this game definitely screams like early 90s to it, and it plays fine on the Saturn, and it uses these weird like pre-rendered backgrounds that are sort of 3D. I know they've actually remade Myst into, it's called like Real Myst or something now, where it's like live 3D animated backgrounds. But, for playing this game on a 4K TV, it doesn't look terrible as you would expect it to. I don't know if it's the upscaling of my TV that makes it look a little cleaner. And I feel like if I had the mentality for a point and click adventure game, I would probably find a way to like this game. I've probably played this on 3 separate occasions, and I just keep getting more and more confused every time I play, and I don't think that this game is really down my alley when it comes to video games. I've never been a big fan of point and click adventures, except for Zack and Wiki on the Wii. That was a great game. However, you can get Myst for like $10 on the Saturn and probably like $1 on the PC. And I would definitely say, like, if you're into those point and click adventure games, you should check this one out. There is a huge cult following to it. Personally, though, the game was not for me. I wanted to go in here and conquer the game after, giving up the last 2 times playing it. But there's just something about it that playing it just doesn't intrigue me. It did at first just because of the weirdness and the quirkiness to it. But I think for the fact that I really don't know what's going on in the game, and there's nothing like dialogue-wise, aside from those little hints that add to the story. And I'm the type of person that I need like a really nice story-driven game to kind of figure out what's going on, why things are happening the way they're happening. And just Myst, to me, doesn't do it. Unless I'm missing something along the way, which, guys, feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, what you think of Myst. And maybe I'll give this game a second chance down the road. But just these last couple times trying to play this game, trying to get into it, it's just really confusing. I find it kind of tedious and annoying, for that matter, at the same time. And, it says it's a surrealistic adventure that will become your world. And I can kind of understand that, because in Myst, it's, I guess you could say, kind of an open world type setting, but it's very desolate. You're like the only person on this planet or dreamland thing that you're in, and you're kind of left to kind of fend for yourself. There's notes, like I said, left around, but I don't know how, personally, this game was a hit when it was, but then again, at the time, gaming was a lot different then, and I'm going to be the first one to say it. Now, the load times are fine on the Saturn, the music's cool, the atmosphere that it gives off is cool, but I just think Myst itself needs a little bit more of a story if you're going to play it in today's time. Unless you're legit like a gamer from that time period who played it when you were little and can understand the game. Just for me, it's definitely a difficult game to get into compared by today's standards of gaming, of how things have evolved. I think I might feel differently about this game if I played it upon initial release, just because the state of gaming was different, as I mentioned, so my expectations for how the game should play would probably be different as well. If you guys, like I said, if you're a fan of Myst, the Saturn version isn't terrible, and maybe you guys can, like I mentioned earlier, kind of shed some insight as to what I'm not picking up about this game, why it's not really working for me. And maybe there's a story about Myst that I don't know that maybe you guys can at least share the story for me. I did try to use a walkthrough, and I found that just becoming very tedious. And I also wanted to try to figure it out myself. But once I couldn't do that, the walkthrough was like my next best bet. I guess that's my thoughts on Myst, guys. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What you think of this game. Do you still think it's a classic? Do you recommend it? I mean, I'm not really sure I could, unless you're one of those point-and-click adventure game people that would love this game. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. As always, until next time, have a good one.